Hello engineers, developers, and friends. We are here once again at Embedded World 2025. So excited to be here, checking out some of the most innovative, exciting, and interesting new companies, products, and designs. I'm happy to be here with Tim from OnLogic. Tim, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
It's really a pleasure to have you. I know you guys have been a partner with Intel for a long time, and I would love to hear how that partnership has helped you guys innovate and create all sorts of new and interesting things.
Absolutely. Well, we've been partnering with Intel since early days. The company was founded in 2003. We've been doing business with Intel for a long time, implementing their chipsets in our computers.
Yeah.
With the most recent addition being our newest product in the line, the Axial AX300 series, which is a very powerful AI edge server, housing their Intel Xeon 5th generation chips.
I know that the Intel chip selection is so important here, and the way that works is what's driving the power behind this edge server. Can you tell me a little bit more about the selection there?
Yeah, so the customer's obviously looking for reliable solutions and longevity of their hardware. Intel chips, at least this Xeon 5th generation, supports a life cycle of 10 years, which is very helpful for the customers to deploy solutions for a long time. The scalability of things with the innovation happening in the AI realm, not really knowing what the performance will be, what you will end up needing in the end. With a dual socket motherboard, you can start with one chip and then add a second one and make it, or reduce one, put one in a different server, just mix and match kind of. The performance is a thing that sets the chip apart, at least for the performance side of the AI processing, because you could technically run this for AI applications and workloads without ever needing a GPU.
Right.
The heavier and the more visual your workloads get, you probably want to get there, but in the essence you don't have to. And the last piece that is a true value there is the Intel chip has a native support for VROC, which is the RAID support, virtual RAID support on the chip. So technically speaking, with the configurations that you can have in this for your data storage, you can secure the data and make sure to maintain its integrity by RAID configurations that are supported natively on the chip without ever needing a different controller that might be end of life or something, and this will last you 10 years.
So tell me about some of the target markets. Where would you expect customers to be deploying this?
Absolutely. So you could technically deploy this anywhere, right? Anywhere you need heavy edge AI workloads. The biggest opportunities we see are in the realms of the factory automation, manufacturing, energy, applications where there's inherently a lot of vision applications, like quality control or predictive maintenance. So those sorts of things. There is obviously the retail sector that could definitely benefit from these types of things. But also, if you think about security, right? This can run technically anything locally.
Wow.
So if you don't need to send data off-premise, you don't run the risk of the data being at risk.
Yeah.
So for that reason, anywhere in the security defense space, you could consider this product adding value.
Incredible. We've talked a lot about AI, and obviously the leveraging of artificial intelligence at the edge is a big topic these days, and this machine is purpose-built for it. Can you talk about how the Intel processing and your hardware are really coming together to make that AI possible?
Yeah, then we're going to go a little bit into specs if that's okay with you. So
absolutely.
If we start at the exterior side, there's a lot of the security features that you would need or want in the challenging and pretty much unpredictable edge environments, right? You could imagine this thing end up somewhere in like a factory hall, somewhere tucked away in the back, right? Without the proper dust filtration or climate control or whatever you can imagine that's just not there.
Right.
Inherently, it could be accessible for a bunch of folks. So there's, risks of failure due to dirt, debris, dust, whatever. There might be risk to people want to tamper with your device.
Right.
So in all those things, assuming worst case scenario of where this thing goes, one, you can mount it in different ways. It's mounted in a rack right here. You can mount it as a tower. You can mount it on the wall or underneath a desk or really technically anywhere, however you want. Secondly, from an environmental perspective, we have dust filtration, advanced dust filtration. Behind the dust filter, there is, I think, 6 hot swappable fans. So if one would fail, you swap it out for a new one,
Incredible.
it just runs perfectly. There's air control, airflow measurement system inside,
Right.
so it will give you an alert when the airflow stops. So when your filter gets clogged, you could even consider predictive maintenance there, because you can monitor the airflow and see, oh, it's going down now, so I need to replace my filter.
Right.
And there's multiple locking mechanisms, and one that is fairly special, because we haven't seen that in the market yet, is actually a lockable front bezel that also prevents from a rack takeout. So you cannot unscrew the device as long as the panel is locked.
Wow. Okay.
Which can be pretty helpful if
Sure.
there's environments where people can actually
If
access
you're worried
it.
about that, for sure. Yeah.
Exactly. And once you open up the case, there's actually a trigger that is an intrusion alarm or intrusion stop, and you can program that in a way that either stop the system, shut it down, or send a
It'll
message. I hope not.
No,
but
ideally not.
Sci-fi.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much the exterior. There's redundant power supplies. There's pretty much everything you expect for a server.
Right.
And then lastly, for the form factor, it's short, so you could technically fit it wherever.
Right.
Right. Then if you go to what is inside, you get to the specs of the performance.
Right.
So this can, if with the dual chip, it has 64 cores.
Yeah.
Or it can have 64 cores.
Right.
It can have up to 1 terabyte of DDR5 memory.
Wow.
It can have currently up to 38 terabytes of storage that can be in all RAID configurations that we just talked about with the
Yeah.
VROC support. And it can hold anywhere from 7 single slot to 4 dual slot GPUs.
Wow.
So this guy is like an AI beast. It can do pretty much, we haven't found a use case that it wouldn't be able to handle.
That's spectacular.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
really great. Tim, thank you so much for talking us through this amazing piece of kit. Really
You're very
appreciate it, and we'll see you very soon. And don't you go away either, because we got lots more to show you from the Embedded World 2025 exhibit hall floor, so stay right where you are.